So I'm going to turn it over to you, Nicole, and we're going to talk about this is a really serious topic, but something that every student can help us with is what to do about the plastic problem. They call it the plastic plague, actually. That is a real problem in our oceans and in our communities with water. So let's turn it over to Nicole. And again, what she'll do is she'll give us a little information, then we'll take some questions, and then we'll learn about our action plan. So over to you, Nicole.
Thank you very much, Mary. Welcome everyone. I saw a lot of familiar faces, but we also have new friends here. So my name is Nicole. I'm from Vancouver, Korea, as well as Oceanwise Conservation Association. So right now I'm here at Vancouver, Korea. Behind me is our sea jellyfish as well as our sea nettles here. So they're actually very nice to have here as the background. So feel free to take a look at it. And I'm really happy to share my knowledge and experience here at the traditional land of the Coast Salish people, including the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. So yeah, today we're going to talk about a very serious problem happening everywhere in the earth, and that's the plastic problem. So plastic is everywhere in our ocean as well as in our daily life. So before the start of the topics, I would like you to type in and try to search for the plastic items that you have around you at your home or at the space that you're actually having now. Try to type the plastic item that you have. Laptops has plastics, plastic bags, water bottles, your Kindle, plastic bags, water bottles. Oh, that's a lot. And when you try to take a look at your whole body, you might have plastic on you as well. So take me as an example, my glass actually have plastic on it. And then for my clothes, there might be some plastic materials that inside our jacket too. And for my shoes, even though you cannot look at it, but they are actually made of plastics too. So not only plastic bags or single-use items, but also from clothes, from glass, or even shoes, or wrappers, watch, rubber band, they're all plastics. So plastic are actually becoming popular in the 40 to 15s in the centuries, and they become very popular because they're lightweight, they are easy to manufacture, easy to produce, and also they are actually very cheap. So a lot of manufacturer as well as businessmen, they try to replace those heavy, expensive materials with plastics. And that's why you can see there's a lot of different items that appears in your community, like your home or even supermarkets or even elsewhere in the earth. Yeah, so very nice of all of you that you type a lot of plastic items. But those items are actually they're really, really dangerous to our ocean, especially for mammals, because we often receive a lot of reports of sea lions, seals, they're having plastic wrapped around the neck. So I'm going to show you some of the picture. Can I have the share content again? Let me check. Katie and Melly, can I have the share button?
Katie has the share button. Sharing is caring, Katie.
Thank you.
I learned that from John Paul.
Yay. So here we have a picture of our sea lions here in the BC coast. We have a dedicated team called the Marine Mammal Rescue Team. They often receive calls from citizens around BC that they saw sightings like this. So there's wraps, like plastic linings, wrapping around sea lions' neck. So what do those sea lions, what do our team do is actually they try to get closer to the sea lions or the individuals, and they try to cut the plastic away and try to remove it carefully from the individual in order to let them be safe again in the ocean. And this is something that we usually have daily, as well as we usually have 200 or more cases being reported by citizens. Yeah. So this is something that we should really probably take a look at it. And I want to show you another picture as well that is happening around the world. Some of them may be related to all of us as well. So I'm going to show it to you. So this is not a picture that a shark is being entangled by fishing net. So because we have demand for having more fish in our meals, so that's why there's a lot of fishermen. They're trying to use extensive and large piece of fishing net in order to catch more fish to satisfy our needs. So here we have a very large piece of fishing nets here, and the sharks are being accidentally caught by those fishing nets, and that's we call the bycatch. So the fishermen actually try to drag everything from coral reefs to fish in one go in order to get as many seafood as they can. And by that process, sharks are being caught, sea turtles are being caught, and we're trying to find those ghost nets and try to remove them, but they're way too many and they are too large and use a lot of manpower. So it's kind of sad news for us that we continuously seeing those sad news in our daily lives. And something that is more related to us is that apart from a larger and larger pieces of plastic like fishing nets or even fishing gear, plastic bags or plastic bottles, we have something really, really dangerous in our daily life as well. And those large pieces of plastic, they actually break down into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces that we call microplastics. So here I have a sample with me, and let me try to hold it for a second, and you will see there is white spot on the glass. So try to take a look at the white spot. So there's some here, and those are actually microplastics. So let me give you 5 more minutes to take a look at those plastics here. So this is water sample that is collected from by our scientists in the coastal area, and within these are millions of microplastics. So these microplastics are actually coming from the largest pieces of plastics that we usually use in daily life, as well as the daily product that we are using that contains those microplastics. Why do we have microplastics in our product is that some manufacturer found it is very easy to produce and it's cheaper than the natural product. And we do have a lot of microplastics in toothpaste and body scrub, as well as shampoo and body wash as well. So these tiny microplastics are so small that can follow the water current and reach the drains as well as the river. And unfortunately, for the advanced technology we have, we do not have the ability to filter them off from the water inside our wastewater treatment plant. And that's why those microplastics enter the sea, enter the ocean very easily. So I'm going to show you some pictures about the microplastic, and let's have some discussion about that.
Excuse me.
So somebody has their microphone on, and we think it's people that might be on iPads. If you can just mute your mics, please.
So here
I'm
I
just on
have
a phone call to Tanisha to try and troubleshoot this too.
So here I have another picture here. So you can see there's large plastics that is transparent. They can break into smaller and smaller pieces. If you take a look at your fingernails, the microplastic is actually smaller than your fingernails, much more smaller. And even when you use your pencil to make a dot on a paper, the dots is having a size of similar to a piece of microplastics as well. It's smaller than 5 millimeters. And if you take a look at those types of microplastics, we have nurdles. That means there are actually some first-hand materials that will be made into some larger piece of plastics. They are raw materials. And we have microbeads that is happening to be in our products in our daily life. And then we also have synthetic fibers where it is shredded off from our clothing while we are using washing machine. And of course, we have fragments from largest piece of plastics that can cause a very serious problem to the ocean because they will wash into the drain and eventually to the ocean as well. So, what are we going for our program? We have a lot of things to really take a look into. And for OceanWise, we do have a dedicated team here in order to investigate how plastic affects our life. So for one of our team based here in British Columbia, we're trying to place a lot of mussels into different areas of the ocean here and try to take a look at the stomach of those mussels in order to see what kind of microplastics and what is the concentration do they have. So I'm going to show you another piece of video and explain how why do we use mussels is as an indicator of those plastics problem. Bear with me for a moment. So here we have a photo with a video, and then this is the filter feeding structure on the mussels, and you can see so tiny transparent living things are planktons. And usually for mussels, they're filter eater. So what they do is they try to trap all those planktons and try to intake them as food for nutrients and energy. But for now, for mussels, because the microplastic is so small, the filter feeder actually intake a lot of microplastics. So if you take a look at this video, on your right hand side, you will see tiny white dots, and those are microplastics. So for our scientists, because they know mussels cannot move very quickly, and they eat a lot of tiny microorganisms. So they try to use mussels and place it around the coastal area as well as some deep sea area, and try to learn about the contents as well as the concentration of microplastic in that certain water region. And they found out that actually plastics, especially for microplastics, they're everywhere in our ocean. And that is a very important finding for us because we need to know about the concentration, the distribution, and try to think the solution from source. And for another investigation that we are trying to do is to work with indigenous people up north in the Arctic. So we try to ask some hunters up north to donate some of the belugas part for us, including intestine. So we try to cut the intestine open and try to take a look what plastic are in it. So let me try to see if I can pull up a picture to let you have a look.
And just a little warning, guys, it's a little bit gross. You should look away.
Yeah, we try to. Yeah, I try to find a picture that is less gross here. Yeah, here we go. So this is our scientist, and she is trying to get the intestine ready, and they try to cut it open, and they will find a lot of plastic inside. No matter it's soft plastic or hard plastic, no matter it is big or small, they found a lot of plastic in it. So they try to investigate 7 beluga whales, but end up all they found plastic in all of the samples. So these are the scientific research that our team is actually focusing on and try to know more about the plastic. And also for our plastic lab here in Vancouver, they are trying to analyze the water sample by using a lot of high technology and try to see if the the microfiber that shredded from our clothing actually affects life as well. So they found out that there are actually a lot of microfibers being washed into the ocean because of the washing machine, and they're trying to work with a lot of manufacturer in order to improve or try to replace those plastic materials with something that is more natural. So here we have a lot of different kind of scientific research as well as some investigation in order to know more about plastics. And microplastic is a very big issue, large problem as large plastic as well. And if you take a look at the background, we have a lot of sea nestle, and they are plankton as well, and they usually consume a lot of plankton as well as accidentally they consume a lot of microplastic in the wild. And some of the jellyfish species are more transparent than these kind of sea nettles, and they're actually looks like plastic bags. So sea turtles who feed on who feed on those jellyfish mistake those plastic bags as food, and so will choke their digestive system, and they will die eventually. So we need to find a solution for that. So before we jump to the solution about plastic problem, do we have time for a Q&A here?
Sure do. And we can tell that you love this topic and you're very passionate about it. Boys and girls, do you have any questions about ocean plastics or where you can learn more? Okay, Tristan would like to know what is the most dangerous plastic for animals.
Okay, so this is an open-ended question. So for myself, I do think microplastic is some dangerous plastic that we have, not only because they are everywhere, but they actually do not disappear very easily. Even though some scientists or some study may say that it will remain here for at least 4,000 years, but we are sure that actually they won't disappear until a very long time, and they will just break it even smaller and smaller and smaller. So those tiny bits of plastic actually choke planktons as well as fish, and eventually they will affect the whole ecosystem, and eventually it will affect our life as well. Because if you take a look at some news reports, you will see that scientists actually are analyzing our species as well as our drinking water, and microplastic appear to be inside.
Oh, wow. Now, someone made a note here that zip ties are very bad, and the drink rings are really bad. Elle would like to know, how does the plastic get to the ocean? It maybe if I'm here in Ontario, I don't have an ocean close to me, but how can my plastic get to the ocean?
That's a very good question. So I can pull up another chart for us to take a look at how those microplastic or plastic actually get into the ocean. Here we go. So We all have drains and we all have water pipes in at our household. And because we have a lot of things that is made up of plastic, like clothes, or even for our daily product like body scrub or even washing body wash. And those tiny plastics actually follows the water which will enter the drains or the water pipes of your households, and they will follow the water current and then go to the wastewater treatment plant. However, those wastewater treatment plants cannot filter any of the microplastics. So after that, those wastewater being purified, they will just discharge into the ocean or the river, and then those tiny plastics will follow the current and enter river and eventually to the ocean as well. So for my own experience, I have led a citizen science project with secondary school students, and they try to use GPS to track all those marine litter from household, from drains, from our city, and they all found out that actually for all the plastics or marine litter, they actually come from from communities as well as they are coming from drains too.
Yeah, those are great questions and great answers, and see how everything is connected. So I wanted to go back to a question up here. Oh, they're all moving so
There's a lot of
quickly. How
Are
often are
cigarette
animals?
butts, Melly? Are cigarette butts dangerous? So they have plastic in them?
For cigarette butts, they are actually, I would say some of them will have plastic in it, but what's so dangerous about them is that they will absorb water and they have a lot of chemicals inside the packaging. And what those, uh, the, the cigarette butt will actually absorb water and it will sink to the bottom of the sea. And those chemicals are actually water soluble. So for the fish, they will just try to feed on those chemicals or try to intake those water, which might be toxic to the marine animals nearby.
Yeah, and this question was anyway, I remember the question. I don't remember who asked it. How often do you find animals, the Vancouver Aquarium, how often do you find animals that are in danger or from plastic? Like, would you find a turtle with something around his fin or something around his neck?
For Vancouver Aquarium and also our team here, we often receive call. I would say like twice a month. And then they are being the sea lions are being spotted by the citizens living around or near the coastal area, that they see a lot of strange entanglement of sea lions. So we often receive call, and they're being wrapped by the plastics as well as some rings that the packaging ring that used to package all those Coke or soft drinks, and that's a very big question because they will cause like suffocation of some kind of animals like sea turtles. So far, we do not have any reportings from citizens that we have entangled sea turtles, but mostly sea lions and seals.
And can fish see the plastic? Like, why do they ingest? Why are they eating the plastic?
So for fish, for plastics, they are something that is man-made. They're not natural. So for fish, they do not have the instinct thought of these kind of products would be man-made, and all of uh, they would think that, oh, actually those are food. So they mistake those plastic as food because they do not really recognize or classify those plastics as man-made or natural ones. So for fish, even though they have good eyesight or even though they have a very good adaptation, good sense of sensing around their environment, but plastic is something that they cannot avoid, and they use gills in order to breathe. So when they intake all those water into their body, they accidentally intake a lot of plastics too.
And even a plastic bag looks a little bit like those jellyfish that are floating around. So a jellyfish predator might mistake it for a plastic bag. So one question that Eloise had, or Elodie had, was what can we do as citizens to stop people from using plastic? So maybe you can go on to the next part of your presentation.
Sure. So this is the important part that I want all of us to really think about it, because we have plastic starting from our life. We produce a lot of plastics. We discharge a lot of microplastics into our ocean. So it's our responsibility to really think of ways in order to reduce your plastics. So I got my own uh, reusable stuff that here I can share with you all. So I have a lot of things in my bag every day to avoid using single-use plastics. So let me show all of you. So for the first one, I have my foldable cup. So it's a foldable cup that you can extend it and add water in it, and you can bring it everywhere. It's portable. So yeah, it would be a very nice one for you alongside with water bottle as well. And I love drinking coffee, especially cold ones. So for myself, apart from getting my own reusable cup, I have my reusable bamboo straw as well. So I try to use them every day, and all I need is to wash them every day to keep it clean. And by doing so, you can reduce the use of any reusable, any single-use straw. So this is one of my favorite for my sustainable lifestyle. And of course, I have my chopstick and fork as well. So this is my fork and spoon in one go. So it's very user friendly. All I need to use is wash it again. And I do have my food packaging with me. This is made from one of our colleagues. And I usually put my fruits, and I try to put chocolates, biscuit in it, so that I won't use a lot of single-use packaging too. So this is one of my go-to if I need to buy bread or even bakery from stores. Last but not least, I have tried something really, really interesting, and I challenge you to do that at home too. So what I did is actually I tried to find some old clothes for me, like a t-shirt, and I made it into a bag. So what I did is I tried to cut away the sleeves as well as the collar of my t-shirt, and then I use I use my scissor to cut the end of the t-shirt into stripes, and then I try to make knots, and it become a bag eventually. So you can see the knots here, and it's quite secure. And what I do with this is when I do grocery shopping, I will bring it with me, and I will put all my veggies, my cheese, and even bread inside. Or even I can put all my stuff, like my reusable cup, to this bag as well as my bamboo straw, as well as my utensils, and as well as my go-to bag. So all of them are actually inside my reusable bag here. So I really want you to try later on to find one piece of t-shirt that you are no longer in use, and try to do your little reusable bag by your own. So that will be a very fun project for us. But of course, we have to know more about the plastic problem, apart from doing some sustainable actions in our daily life. So try to really look for information. We have a lot of scientists doing a lot of great work. So make sure you try to learn more about them and try to do some scientific research together with scientists. So nowadays, citizen scientists are very popular, where we all can actually participate in the scientific research initiated by citizen science initiated by citizens as well as scientists. So do check it out and then try to learn more about plastic problem online, especially on our YouTube channel, because we have a lot of DIY sections that you can try to make up, like a soap or even bags, as well as beeswax wrap as well. So try take a look at the videos and try to make your own sustainable items to replace those plastics.
So thank you so much, Nicole, for that great message. And if you are talking about Minecraft or Fortnite, we really appreciate that you not do that, or we'll remove you from the class. We're almost done, but we want to encourage all of the students to go to OceanWise and take a look at the information that they have there. There's lots of projects that you can join, and crafts and art activities that you can do to investigate ocean plastics and it's called the Plastic Plague. So thank you, Nicole, for 2 fantastic sessions. That was just great. I'm also going to put in the chat connectednorth.org at home for the sessions that will be coming up in the next couple of days, and we'd love to see you join them. We have some on sharks and some about bees and butterflies with Canadian Wildlife, and I think you have one with working at the oceans on Friday, right, Nicole?
I have a note for that. So a bit of a spoiler. So I have invited and other scientists with me to be on that session. So he will be talking about marine mammals and his work at University of British Columbia. So do check it out, and I will see you on Friday.
That's great, Nicole. Have a great day, and hopefully we'll see some of you in our shark session tomorrow at Connected North at Home. And we will see you for astronauts and what's inside you and pollinators. All of this science learning has been so amazing. And thanks for coming, Gabriella and Louise and Jameson and Kerrigan and Celine and the Fuhr family and Elodie. It was great to see you, and Wyatt and Chris. Thank you so much. Okay, see you guys later.